All praises due to the Most High family. We back with another Acres anime review. I just finished watching episode 5 of The Water Magician, and it's picking up, family. We got hints of the great tidal bore approaching. I mean, we had that phenomenon explained to us last time, in which more monsters start populating the dungeon that's in the center of town, and eventually they start coming outside of the dungeon. And it's our job as people involved with the guild to limit them and defeat them and minimize the damage to the city as they come outside of the dungeon. And so we got Eamon and the rest of Rio's roommates going to the dungeon. And they get as deep as the 5th layer. Remember, we had already seen that it was only supposed to be bats on the 1st layer, and we were seeing soldier ants. But now we go into the 5th layer, and we're seeing archer goblins. And they're not supposed to be seen until the 10th layer. So this kind of set off our alarms, right? So we call it a day as Rio's roommates, and we go and inform the guild, and we say, hey man, we're seeing archer goblins on the 5th layer, and here's the magic stones that we got from them to prove that we talking the truth. And so the guild master get word, and this dude was on it. This is solid. He was a little nervous in the execution, but he quarterbacked the whole thing to a T. So basically he had the secretary round up. I guess there's only 2 B rank parties, right? And Abel and the Crimson Sword is one of them. And so there's another one called the White Brigade. And I forgot old boy's name, but that seems to be a bigger party because old boy, he got it's like a lance user, and he got a right hand spellcaster, like a wizard, a mage, a magician. But he also had 20 C rank adventurers that he brought with him too, right? So anyhow, guildmaster and so he brought them. He explained the situation to the two B rank parties, and he told them also that he was coordinating with the knights, the local knights, right? And so that ended up being instrumental to the operation. So we say that we go into the dungeon the next day, first thing in the morning, and we go and we about to enter, but Abel was the MVP also. The guildmaster quarterbacked he organized the whole operation to a T. Perfect. He the MVP, and then also Abel is also another MVP of this episode, because we about to enter the dungeon and Abel's instincts were on point this episode. Something just tell him, he's like, nah, we shouldn't just walk up in here like normal. So he had his wind magician use a spell. It was called Probe. She was able to see that there's goblins behind this door finna pop out by the hundreds, family. So the guild master quarterbacking, he say, all right, we not gonna go inside the dungeon. Go ahead and call the knights, because I warned them that, I preempted them that we might need them. So he's like, go ahead, let them know to pull up. We gonna form a circle around the dungeon, because there's the dungeon, family, and then they got an inner wall, and then there's the city, and then there's an outer wall outside the city. So he was like, all right, line up around the inner wall, and as they come out, we finna lower their numbers. So they start coming out. We all posted up. At this point, we done called everybody. It's not just the White Brigade and the Crimson Sword anymore. We calling everybody that's willing and able. pull up. And so we start whittling their numbers down with some arrows. And they got archers too, so we low-key just shooting arrows back at each other. Boom, 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 boom. And we lowering their numbers. And the guildmaster he's like, man, this is such a big horde. I know that there's something bigger coming out when this is done. So he warned the Crimson Sword. He's like, hey, when this is over, when this first wave is over, I need you to be ready and jump down there to handle whatever bigger is coming. So come to find out, what we see first is a goblin general. And it's really just, he's a big old goblin. But then it actually turned out to be 3 goblin generals. So this again let Abel know, 3 goblin generals mean a goblin king finna come out. So we organized. Abel took 1 goblin general. The leader of the White Brigade took another goblin general. And then Abel coordinated the 2 top mages to handle the 3rd goblin general, right? And as we fighting them though, again, first time Abel's instinct saved us was at the door. He said, we got to probe that instead of go in. This was the second time and definitely the most important time that his instincts kicked in again and saved us. As we fighting the 3 goblin generals, Abel just his spider senses went off. Turns out the goblin king who popping up, before he even pop out, before anybody see him, it's just Abel's instincts going off. He's sending an attack. And basically this supersonic force, like a wind cutter type of, it seemed like a spell, but Abel said it's really just him swinging his sword. But so the Goblin King willing to take out his own generals, and he did. He took out one of the Goblin generals in an attempt to take out Abel and them too. So we didn't even have to finish the Goblin generals. The king did that on his own, but now we got to fight the king. And so that was pretty intense. Abel stepped it up. He showed us some new techniques. He showed us his battle know-how, right? Because while he going in for the final blow, he really just setting up the alley for his magician, because she's setting up this powerful spell, but it take her a while to do the incantation. So, and Abel also has a tank in his party, right? What is his name? Werner or something? Anyhow, so the tank is protecting the mage. The mage is doing the incantation. Abel going in, what was it called? He basically have an after image attack or technique. And so he employed that twice perfectly. The king was swinging at nothing. And then Abel used his total impalement move on him. And so the sword got stuck in his chest. It didn't quite finish him. But what finished him after that was the spell that he was having his team set up. So we defeated the Goblin King. The Guildmaster, Abel, the real MVPs of the episode. Who knows what this means moving forward in terms of the Great Tidal Bore? We don't know. What else happened this episode was Rio went to the library. He went to a new library this time. He's trying to find some information on some literature on alchemy and akumas, but he don't want to tell anybody that he's looking up for akuma information. But so he run to, her name is Sarah. He run to old girl that they feeling each other a little bit. They think each other cute. But she had seen him on her way out a few episodes before. Now he run into her in the library, and she helped him find some of this information that he's looking for in the library. So they kind of linking up together. She mentioned she's a solo guild, like she has her own party, but she's the only member. I don't know what that means. It seems like they teasing to us that they're gonna be a little duo at some point in the near future. So this is a fun episode. Peace and love.